In today's video, we find out what happens when the brand new boss Inkquisitor meets the boss Herald, the Inkmaster versus the Herald. This is going to be interesting inside of Fortnitemares. If you guys are new around here, roughly 98% of you guys watching aren't already subscribed, so tap that subscribe button. I can see you guys not subscribed, so make sure you are tapping subscribe. So the plan for today's video is fairly simple. It's simply to take the Inkquisitor over to the Herald. However, it's not as easy as that because, as you know, when you touch the water, everyone gets teleported back to Hull. So we had to cover a lot of the water. Last video we did a challenge where you guys could name the skin on screen. The answer was Gold Trooper, but this time we've got a new challenge. Name the skin on screen right now, and I'll be hearting a bunch of the comments with the correct answer. So we're jumping straight in, and the first thing that I did was head over to the direction of the Coney Crossroads. My team head over to the Inquisitor. They're going to move the ink over towards the Herald. They're going to start doing that, where I actually reinforce the areas of danger because of water, because of the annoying water bug, which I'll show you guys a little preview of in a second. So the first thing I did was start to farm up materials as quickly as possible. This is the annoying water bug, if you don't already know it. When you jump into the water in battle labs, or if a henchman or an NPC or boss goes in the water, it ejects everyone to the hub around it. It's really frustrating. So, you know, I've decided we need to make sure that this does not happen here when we're moving the ink over. So I built this kind of weird tunnel contraption just so it would make it easier to shockwave them through, because obviously we need to do this and get it set. My team was searching for shockwaves, so this time I'm not going to be searching for shockwaves. This time I'm the builder on the job. Obviously I need to get everything built here just so that we can get these henchmen through these paths, because we don't want these henchmen going completely in the water. Otherwise we're gonna have to restart from the start. So yeah, we had that done, and then the next one was to build a path up to the Herald Sanctuary. Now this was very crucial for the actual process of moving the Inkmaster over to this location, because without this things would go terribly wrong. We really had to make sure that this path was perfect, heading up directly over to the Herald. Obviously we needed it to be perfectly lined up, and obviously the walls on the side as well needed increasing in height. It was very crucial that we had these at a nice tall height as well, so that the Inquisitor would not actually go over the top, because we don't want the ink to go over the top. We want him to go inside of the location of the Herald. Once they're in there, obviously they can battle, and we don't want the Herald to see us either. So me having been super stealthy here, I had to break all of these without the Herald actually noticing me, which was quite difficult to do, and then put the wall on the other side as well to allow for the kind of like the tunnel-like structure. We always leave the roof open though, just because a shockwave can easily obstruct that. Also, the area around here, you know, this was really crucial as well. Like, it looks dead clear. This is so important. People don't realize how important this is, but making sure this is all clear is just perfect, because it allows us to shockwave and fishing rod perfectly without them being obstructed by any annoying obstacles like trees or rocks. So that didn't take too long for me to do. I just cleared all that out. And obviously Crossroads, that was easy to clear. We have our explosive goo gun, which just allows us to clear Crossroads very, very fastly now. So I'm glad that we have them. Unfortunately, no cars in battle labs, so goo gun's the only option. Fortnite, add cars back to battle labs, please. Stop messing around. All right, so over on this side, we've got this over here with our lake as well. This is, I guess, the river, sorry, the lake river slash thing. We got to cover this up as well, because we don't want NPCs touching water. As you guys know, this could be a possible path. We don't know 100% if ink's going to go this way. It all depends on which way they curve with the shockwaves. But again, this is just important just to cover, because if they do go in the water, it breaks the whole thing and we have to restart. So covering the water is really crucial. It's what we're doing here and making sure things are working nicely for us. So the water's all covered and we're set to go, and Inquisitor's starting to be moved. My team have already got him to the crossroads. Really well done. So Ink is over here. We're now going to hit them with the shock. That was a bad shockwave, but that's okay. We hit a lot of bad shockwaves and a lot of good shockwaves. Get a nice one here though. This is a perfect one here coming on Ink, and Ink goes flying into the location that we need Ink to go to. So after a little bit of time of shockwaving, eventually we get Ink closer and closer, and finally Ink's very, very close to the stairs right now, and this is about the perfect position. My team do box up the Ink to heal them. Now this was the perfect process as well, because we had to heal the Inquisitor to make sure they had full HP, because on their journey they would hit themselves with their rocket launcher or Firefly. Now just before we jump into the fight, don't forget guys to check out the brand new map Toy War, which has its brand new Octane update. Inside of here you can now use Octanes to take out people. You can also obviously use the goo gun and use a bunch of other stuff in here. Every single item inside of Fortnite is inside of this map. With the code on screen right now, you can jump into this no build team deathmatch. Try it out. It's super fun if you like team deathmatches, and if you like Fortnite and a giant toy box, this is going to be the one for you. It's going to be a team deathmatch with everything. Obviously no builds in this one, which makes it a little bit more unique. The heavy sniper does counter the Octane, and so feel free to try it with the code on screen. Jumping straight into the battle, you can see we managed to get the Inquisitor to meet the Herald, and they aggro straight on each other. So they are enemies. They do fight each other, which is really awesome. You can see the Inquisitor is now battling the Herald, but the wolves are deployed. So can the Inquisitor figure out to actually take out the wolves wolves first rather than target the Herald. You can see they're doing quite a good job against these wolves, using their SMG, get some nice 42 hits on with that mythic SMG, easily takes out one of the wolves, and then they, for some reason, decide to target the Herald. This gives them a little bit of a disadvantage because they hit the Herald with the rocket, damaging the wolf as well, but also damaging themselves. However, the Herald is shielded up inside of a bubble, so they do no damage to the Herald, which is kind of weird. You can see the wolf is also still targeted on the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor is now targeted on the Herald, so the Inkman himself is not doing too well here. Again, going in with a huge rocket, hitting the bottom, not doing much damage at all, doing 0 damage to the Herald, while the wolf is still dealing damage. We do manage to take out the wolf just to help out the Inquisitor because they're not targeting on the wolf. You can see here, they now go for the Inquisitor, trying their best to hit the Inquisitor. We use another impulse, moving them over to the other side, using the rocket launcher, firing a rocket launcher. Ooh, that one's a perfect one, dealing 85 damage to the Herald, which isn't too much. Herald's getting a nice little 23, and then they go inside of the bubble again. The fight's getting pretty heavy right now. We've got 2 more wolves approaching the Inquisitor. The nice little rocket comes in, gives an 85 to the left wolf, misses the right wolf. Another rocket comes in, takes out that right wolf. Both wolves look like they're going to be pretty low here. Both wolves are down. All right, perfect. So you got Herald over here. Herald teleports over. You can see she's on this side over here. We've had to switch the replay camera because she goes invisible. You can see the Herald does an absolute ton of damage to the Ink right here, taking absolute tons from that mythic rifle. We managed to get the Herald moving in a little bit further in, and the Inquisitor going in with a nice little impulse there. They're now fighting. They get a good amount of damage on both of each other there with the SMG and the Herald's rifle, making it a pretty close fight right now. We've got 2 wolves moving in on the Ink. They're dealing only 2 damage for some reason on that hit there. The wolves are actually not taking any damage from the Ink though, which is interesting because I thought that they might have switched target, but obviously not. Still targeted on the Herald, which makes it quite difficult for the Inquisitor. But there you go, they do decide to switch target, but still miss with the rocket going in at the Herald. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes the wolves, we have to take them out because the Inquisitor doesn't switch targets, which means he would just basically die to wolves, which would be a little bit of a disaster, which we don't want to happen. So you can see just helping out a little bit, taking on the wolves. The wolves are damaging them. The Ink is just getting absolutely wrecked. And then finally they decide, you know what, we'll switch target to this wolf and use the SMG. Again, we are trying to help our best here to make the fight work. Still missing with the SMG shots, still missing with the rockets. And the wolves are getting a bit of damage on the Ink, with the Ink actually not switching targets. This is just a problem with the NPC. We have no control over this. The Herald is just casually chilling in their bubble while this is happening, but luckily enough, we managed to get Ink to go in a little bit further, which allows them to hopefully take out the wolf if we can get a few hits on it. The wolves are still bugging out a little bit here, but it's okay. We managed to get Ink to go pretty relatively close in. Herald's still chilling. They're fighting the wolf over here, and hopefully with a little bit of damage on that wolf, we should be able to take it out, and this will hopefully trigger the Herald out of the bubble. There we are. We take out the wolf, and the Ink's now back onto the Herald in this 1v1 situation. Who's going to win? Herald teleports in, gets the shield down of Inquisitor, hitting 23 damage there with the mythic rifle. Inquisitor going in with a few shots with the SMG, missing and only hitting 1 shot. Nice little impulse in, again closer to the Inquisitor, switches to the rocket. Huge big damage there coming in from the Ink. Nice little rocket with 85, but still not enough. Too slow on the reload. As the Inquisitor's flying through the air, they reload their rocket launcher. The actual Herald is missing so many shots here, and the final shot there does take out the Inquisitor. Let's take a little replay there of that final moment. So you can see it's quite easy for the Herald to hit them shots. Really nicely done. And the Inquisitor just goes down there from 1 shot. Pretty awesome.